Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for DOGWIFHAT. Now, I'm out on a daily chart here, and we need to talk about yesterday's price action and how that has adjusted my count. It's changed a little bit, and targets have changed slightly. So first we have our blue targets, which is the original 1-2, targeting a third around 496, our standard extensions at the 1.618. I also have these green targets, which is the second 1-2, and we are very close to our standard third wave at 148.589.7, as you can see here. And once we reach that, basically 150, we would expect between a 236 and a 50 retracement for this fourth wave. I don't want to ride through that. I'd rather re-enter for the fourth and target for our fifth. Our fifth wave should come up between 220 and 325 according to this green count, which would come up shy of the 1.618 here. So if that's the case, we'd expect our fifth to maybe only come to the 496. But it's a little bit conflicting because in Elliott Wave, you usually have one wave extended. So when you've seen previous cycles, when the fifth wave gets pretty massive, that's a scenario that could play out. We could go higher than 1.618, but we will have to wait and see the price action at that time. We will not know until it happens, right? So current wave 4 invalidation is 47.5066. That's the wave 1 overlap with wave 4. So there should be no stops beyond that level currently. I moved my stop to yesterday's low. I think it's at 81 cents now, and just letting this wave play out. So I'm going to talk about yesterday's action on the 15-minute with just this third wave. Let's go over there now. That is on MEXC. It's kind of messy, just to warn you, but I'm tracking a bunch of different things is why. So my stop is at 81.5 on MEXC currently. If you remember previous analysis, I had to adjust something here. I called this as a truncation. I now have relabeled it as a micro 1-2. Reason being, this count works better with that scenario. If you remember, originally I was expecting this to be the wave high right here at around 80 cents, and I was expecting this to drag out more in time to correct this entire move to the upside in that scenario. It just kept going from there. I don't think that was enough time to complete as per my guidelines, not rules. And if that was the case, this should be a 1-2 and just keep rocking, right? But with my adjusted count, our third wave was actually topped here. It makes more sense to me. We then had a flat for our fourth, and we are actually on the fifth wave of this whole move here. Okay, so we need to now dissect what's happening for this fifth wave, and it is extended. Okay, so we'll zoom into this area. As you can see, it's getting a little bit complicating, but that's the fun of Elliott Wave. Our job is not to predict what's happening, it's to find the right path eventually, and hopefully we get it right the first time, right? So, off this fourth wave proposed, we are on a modified pitchfork, or shift, I think even. I think shift, nope, modified. So, in this scenario, we should not drop below this pitchfork as a guideline, and we have our wave 1 beginning off this fourth low, which was a running flat. It hit the 1-to-1, pretty much ideal. Got a impulse up, wave 1, 2. The question is, do we top at that 150 I mentioned before, which was the 1.618 of that first 1-2, or do we make another wave up and we actually come between like 170 and $2? We will not know till up in this area, because the issue is we can count this multiple different ways. Are we making a diagonal, or are we completing like this? Let me show you here. This could be a wave 1. This can literally be a running flat, ABC. We hit a third wave at between the 1.236 and the 382. Not standard, but can happen. We're now making a flat. And do we complete right here? And this is our 1-2 with a running flat, 3-4. Regular flat, 5, and then we complete for that larger fourth. I am not sure. I won't know until we hit that target. But it does line up to that 150 area. Alternatively, if this isn't a running flat, we'd have a 1, 2, 1, and this would be a running flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the standard 1.618 we'd expect. We then get a sideways fourth, and then our fifth up between 171 and 197. Then we correct. You see our conflicts? We're unsure. But what we know is the most important area is right here, what happens. If this was a fifth, we should reject pretty quickly. If it's a fourth, we should run sideways and go up for one more, then complete. So I'm going to be paying close attention to see what happens in that area. I'll probably raise my stops down at the 5 minutes as we pan this out. But my hard line in the sand, once we make that move, will probably be this fourth wave. I would move my stop up to that level just to protect my profit and look to re-enter for that fourth wave. All right, I hope that wasn't too complicating, but you can see the two scenarios in play. Our job is to figure out which one it is. And the most important part is what happens after this move, right? Is that a top of a fifth or is it the top of a third? Do we reject quickly or do we make a sideways correction, go up for one more, then reject? All right, guys, so that's it for Dog with Hat. I hope that was helpful. One more thing is our extensions of our wave 1 off our 3 for a fourth for a projected fifth wave. The 618 was at 137, the 618 extension. And the 1-to-1, which is also a common target of wave 1 through 3 off wave 4, was at $2. And the 150 area, it was that green target out on the daily for our third wave. So we're kind of in that zone. And if we end up making some sort of extension, I mean, we can get 1 through 3 off 4, or 1.618 is at $4. Unlikely, it seems like, but it is possible. All right, guys, so that's it for this one. I will see you on the next one.